Hey there, welcome to LSEA Yoga. My name is Laura, and today we're doing a sunrise flow. So if you're ready, get on your mat, and I'll meet you there. We'll begin today in child's pose. So let the knees go wide, sitting back on the heels, start to drape the torso over the legs. Arms reach forward and let the forehead rest on the ground. Take a deep breath into the back and exhale it out through the mouth. And just take a moment here to arrive on the mat. Slowly let the head start to lift up, and we'll add some side stretches here. So let the arms go over toward the right. Lean into the left armpit. Get a nice side waist stretch on the left side. With each breath, get big and broad in that left side. And with each exhale, let it release. And let's take that to the other side. So walk the hands over to the left and lean into the right side. Now each side can be different depending on how you're feeling today. So just take note of that. And use that information as you move forward through the class today. Deep breaths. And then come on back to center. And we're going to kind of slither into a cobra pose. So lift the hips up, press the hands, and lower the hips down as you come into a full prone position. Hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale, come on up and lift the chest only as feels good in your own spine. And then exhale, lower down. So you could be doing a nice little baby cobra here as you inhale, or you could be coming up further, but only if it feels good in your back. And lower down. One more time like that. Inhale, pressing the hips into the ground, pressing all 10 toes. And exhale, lower down. Bring the hands closer to the hip points, straighten the arms. Lift the thighs off the ground and you're in up dog. Breathe deep. Lower down. Now bring the hands in front of the face, stack the palms and rest the forehead. Wiggle the hips just to release that. Now bring the hands back under the shoulders, press the hips up, and just walk the knees through into a seated position. And we'll take Gomukhasana. So we're going to let the right leg come over the left with the knees bent. Now this can be an intense hip stretch, and that can affect the knee. So if this doesn't feel good, you're going to want to straighten that bottom leg. Okay? Maybe supporting the top leg. Make sure those knees are protected. Work towards stacking the knees, but they don't have to stack. Find your own Gomukhasana here. Press the outer edges of the feet into the ground. Lift the spine up, get long. Maybe the hands come behind as you start to tilt forward. We're just looking for a really nice hip stretch in the outer right hip. So come forward to where you feel that nice stretch. If you're feeling it, you're doing it.
Doesn't really matter what it looks like. And again, modify if you need to protect those knees. You're flexing the feet and you're pressing your pinky toes into the ground. Hands can come forward if that feels good, but keep the spine long. You're really reaching the chest forward. And then come on back up. Let's keep stretching into the hips. So we're going to take double pigeon. So again, if this doesn't feel good on the knees, straighten that bottom leg, right? And your legs will be in kind of a number 4 shape. Otherwise, we're, making the shins maybe kind of parallel, but it doesn't really matter. Flex the feet, and you're just stacking your knee on top of your ankle and your ankle on top of your knee. And the right leg is on top. All right, so again, this is a hip stretch, so that's all we're looking for. So inhale, let the chest reach forward, use the hands behind to start to tilt. And just hang out here, breathing into the hips. Maybe close the eyes and don't worry about what it looks like. If your knee is floating, that's okay. You may want to put something underneath it. All right, so you can lean forward and get that stretch. If you're not feeling much, if your hips are really open right now, you may want to take it to the next level, and you can plant your right elbow into the arch of your right foot. Hands in prayer, press up and away as you twist toward the left. This can be pretty intense. Only do it if it feels really good. And then release if you did twist, and come on back up to sit. Transition into deer by taking your right leg and letting it bend out behind you. So now your legs are in kind of an S shape. And then we're going to twist toward the right. So let the right hip come forward as you do so. You get a nice stretch there. And then you should feel it in your left side waist as you twist toward the left. Fingertips are tented on the ground. Maybe you're pulling your left knee away in order to aid that twist. You can also recline here if that feels good. One more breath here. And then release and swing that right leg up and over the left again. And this time plant the foot on the other side of the left leg. And we'll take Ardha Matsyendrasana. Seated spinal twist. So your left foot is kind of tucked near your right hip. Right knee up toward the sky. Pull that knee up and over toward the left. Fingertips are tented behind. Use that arm as a post. As you wrap your arm around your right knee, pull it up and away as you twist toward the right. Twist from the belly button. And as you inhale, get long in the spine. And exhale, twist a little deeper. Find another arm position. Maybe the elbow comes to the outside of the knee if you need a little more. One more big breath here. And release. Let the legs go out in front of you. Shake them out a little bit. Rock the feet back and forth. We're going to take all of that on the other side. So back to Gomukhasana. Stack the knees with the left on top this time, or work towards stacking the knees. Again, straighten that bottom leg if that feels better. To help tilt the pelvis, you may want to be sitting up on something here, a cushion or a block. Press the outer edges of the feet into the ground. Knees are working towards stack. Hands behind, long spine, chest forward, and start to tilt. Nice stretch in the outer left hip. each breath, breathe into that left hip. And then exhale, let it release. Let it just sort of smoosh out behind you. Pressing into the ground with those pinky toes. Breathe and open. And then come on back to a neutral sitting position. And we're going to scoot the left ankle to the right knee. Right ankle, left knee. And again, if that doesn't feel good, right leg is straightened out in front of you. We're stacking knees and ankles, supporting that top knee if necessary. Fingertips tented behind and start to tilt forward. Close the eyes and breathe into that hip. Let it open. Hands can come out front if your body lets you in. Feet are flexed, that helps protect the knee. And then release, and we'll let that left leg go out behind. So again, the knees are the legs are in an S shape in the other direction, and twist toward the right. Every time you inhale, get long in the spine, reach the crown of the head toward the sky. And then as you exhale, twist. Long in the side waist. Reclining if that feels good. You can bring the nose closer to the floor, bending the elbows. Or stay straight up. One more breath here. And release. Come on back to center, and we'll take Ardha Chandrasana in the other direction. So left foot up and over the right knee. Right foot is tucked by your left hip. Knee is up toward the sky, so you're pulling it up and over toward the right. Wrap the arm around, tent the fingertips behind, and twist toward the left. Shoulders are broad, reaching away from each other. Twist from the belly button. Inhale to get tall, and exhale to twist. Inhale, and exhale. Finding a different hand position with the elbow on the outside, fingertips up or down. And then release. Maybe take a nice little counter twist in the other direction. Now cross the legs as you release them. Place the hands out in front of you. And come into to lie down on your belly. Let the elbows come under the shoulders, fingertips out in front, so you're in Sphinx pose. And we'll take this as a nice gentle back bend. So you pull the chest through the shoulders. And if this is too much, you may want to stack the palms and rest the forehead. Or maybe stack the fists and rest the forehead. No crunching in the back, just a gentle pressure as you press the hips down. Pull the chest through the shoulders. One more breath here in Sphinx. And then let the left fingertips come toward your right wrist. So your forearm is at an angle. And we're going to bend the left knee. Now again, if this doesn't feel good, if none of this feels good, feel free to stay exactly where you are. We're just going to stretch the quad here. So grab a hold of that left foot and then pull the heel toward the glute. You can keep the chest up, use the left elbow, press it down into the ground. You can also be resting the forehead on the left fist or palm. The depending on how much back bend you feel is feeling good. Now release that and we'll take the other side. So this time, right fingertips to left wrist, bend the right knee, and grab a hold of that foot with your left hand. And pull the heel in. Lift up and out of that shoulder if you're still on your elbow. And then release that. Stack the palms and rest the forehead. Give the hips a little wiggle. And then we'll take bow pose 3 times. So again, if you're not back bending very deeply today, feel free to stay exactly where you are. Otherwise, start to lift the chest as you reach the hands back and bend the knees. Grab a hold of the ankles. And then as you inhale, press the feet up and away. So the thighs lift up off the ground, chest lifts up. Neck is long, and we're looking down the nose out in front of us. Deep breaths. Inhale, maximize that, and then as you exhale, release. Stack the palms, rest the forehead. Release the glutes, wiggle back and forth. Two more times like that. Bend the knees, grab the elbows, neck is long. And then as you inhale, press the heels up and away. Let it stretch the shoulders. Gather the knees in toward the center line. Pressing the hips down. Big breaths. Next time you exhale, release, stack the palms, and rest the forehead. Wiggle the hips. Last time, grab a hold of those ankles. Inhale, reach it up. 0 crunching in the back, aiming the curve into the upper spine. Knees together, or at least working toward each other. Sparkle your toes up toward the sky. And release. Stack the palms one more time. Rest. And release. Now press the hands into the ground under the shoulders. Lift the hips up. Come back onto the heels and come back into child's pose. Letting the lower back release. And then lift the hips up so you can walk the knees through and come into a seated position. Right leg out front, left foot into the inner thigh, janu. Plant the heel, bend the knee, and then use the fingertips behind to lift the hip up and pull the hip back and away. And we're going to fold forward here, but we're going to do that with a long spine, chest going toward the toes. Now fingertips can be on the floor, the shin, maybe grabbing the outer edge of the foot. And again, it's the chest or the top of the head working toward the toes, not the nose, toward the knee. And then next inhale, come on up to sit and open the legs up or apart so we can take a side bend. Again, bending into the knee, bring the elbow to the inside of the knee, maybe on the floor or floating. And then turn toward the left. Reach the left arm up. Chest is going up toward the sky, and then add your side bend But we're continuously turning the chest up toward the sky. And then release. Come on back to center and we'll switch sides. Left leg out, right foot in. Bend the knee, plant the heel, scoot the hip back and away. Start to tilt forward with the fingertips behind. Chest or the top of the head is working toward the toes. Each time you inhale, let the spine get long. And then as you exhale, you fold. On your next inhale, come on up. Open the right knee out to the right. Bend into the left, elbow to the knee, and then inhale, sweep the right arm up to the sky. And then exhale, start to side bend, and you're turning the heart up. Inhale, come on up to sit. And we'll lie down on our backs. Draw the knees in toward the chest. Give the knees a little squeeze. And we'll just take one more stretch and then we'll relax in Shavasana. So grab the backs of the knees, the shins, or the big toes. You can start with bent knees. And press the heels up and away from your tailbone. Just a simple supine leg stretch. And be where you can bend into the elbows. So your knees can be bent. Perfectly acceptable. You're just looking for a nice stretch and to lengthen the lower back. So you want the lower back nice and flat along the floor. Release that. Let the feet flop open about the width of the mat. Hands flop open, palms to the sky. Snuggle the shoulders under, get comfortable. Close the eyes, Shavasana. Let everything release. No more work to do and nowhere to go, just for now. Relax. Now you can stay here as long as you like. When you're ready, start to bend the knees and place the bottoms of the feet on the floor. Bring the hands to the upper thighs. Draw the knees in toward the chest. Wrap your arms around your knees. Give them a squeeze. Grab the backs of the knees and then roll on up to sit. Find a comfortable seat. Backs of the hands to the knees. Thumb and forefinger touch. Close the eyes. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.